Okay, so something I haven't heard that many people mention or talk about is the fact that Jupiter is going to be changing from, sorry, not Jupiter, Neptune is going to be changing from Jupiter's sign, Pisces, a water sign, moving into fire, Aries, creating that steam, kind of transitioning from one element to another, from, moving through collective confusion, that what's fact, what's fiction, what's fake news, what is whatever, towards action. How am I going to apply myself? How am I going to take action? And the dissolving, really, of the self and the boundaries of identity and individuality, which Aries is. And of course, in order to see, like, how is that going to play out, in next April 2025, coming right around the corner. Well, the Lord, the dispositor of Mars, the dispositor of Aries, is Mars, and Mars is just not doing well. It's not happy in Cancer. I believe it's retrograde. I need to check on that. But point is, it just doesn't have that energy to apply itself appropriately and establish boundaries. So the whole collective is just going to be in a state of not being able to assert their boundaries in an appropriate way, and individually not being able to just say no to things, and not being able to say, I'm going to apply my energy towards this and move forward in life, doing these specific things. Rather, you're going to be all distracted and wishy-washy, moving through one thing or another thing, total confusion. Also, our day-to-day, how we get through our lives day-to-day, it's not just Mars, our energy and how we apply ourselves, things like that, which gets affected. It's also Mercury, how we manage our time, how we manage our resources, how we communicate with other people. And, when that's all happening next year, with that 0 degrees of Neptune and Aries, whoa, it is not only retrograde, it's going to be in Pisces, conjunct to Venus, which is good. That's an exaltation point. And conjunct the North Node, which can confuse and exaggerate the energies of Mercury. So just extreme rhetoric, extreme things that are going to be focused on compassion and love and helpfulness and, goodness, which is about Pisces, right? Benevolence and goodness and having compassion. But it's not. It's based on an illusion. It's based on lies and manipulation, deceit, etc. Neptune's poor qualities. But yeah, and not to be doom and gloom, I'm not looking forward to, what's around the corner here. But certainly anyone can see where we're headed here. And I think Kamala Harris and, the Democrats, they win. For sure. There's no doubt. Trump is not going to be in that White House ever again. But regardless, what we see is just a breakdown of the identity and the self and the ability to assert oneself and move forward, because Neptune dissolves those boundaries, and Aries is about the self, also the head, the cranium, the skull, our decision making. And remember, when any planet is in Aries and it's kind of badly afflicted, you're going to have real problems, because the brain is going to be affected. And in Neptune, it creates almost like this waterlogged brain that's like that you just cannot think correctly. You can't make decisions that are healthy, at least even in the moment. But when I see that, I'm like, okay, this is a time of taking those spiritual values and taking all that energy from the universe and embodying that within the physical body. Aries is the physical body. And embodying it within the heart, because what the ruler is, Cancer, the heart, the emotions. And it's going to be chaotic if you let it be, in a sense. This world is just kind of reflecting back the issues that we have all kind of incarnated to kind of burn off. We've all incarnated in this particular time, in this particular moment in history, with the advent of AI, Who am I? Again, identity, Aries, dissolving that. Who am I? What do I do now? Because the AI is now making, I don't know, pictures of Garfield better than I can. I don't know. Point is, these broader changes, because these are the outer planets, the things that transcend the personal. These are just going to impact how our values are shaped and how we ourselves assert ourselves, etc. I know it seems like I'm all over the place. This is a Neptune and Aries video topic, but I'm just jumping straight to, you know, Uranus and Taurus, our personal values getting shaken up and disrupted and disturbed. Saturn, you know, the final planet before we get to the transcendent, being in Pisces, in that conjunction as all this stuff is happening. So the dispositor of all that is going to undergo this crisis point with 0-degree Aries. This is crazy, just crazy. So I mean, just prepare for, you know, April of next year, 2025. Not to and haw the whole time here, but it's just, it's not all bad. The world, the physical world, is going to seem just totally broken down. But the individual spiritual self, I mean, that is a great time for building up one's spiritual practice and building up one's inner world. It's a great time, because now all these energies from beyond, as it were, are the universal currents, universal energies are coming into the body, the physical body, Aries, the head. You know, you get these ideas and this, you know, stuff that just comes to you and you don't really know where, but it's just coming. So in many ways, it's kind of a good thing. In other ways, it's like, man, you've got to adapt and you've got to change and you've got to make those final changes before this thing hits. Because remember, mutable signs are about change, kind of changing and adapting and mutating before we hit Aries, which is the point of initiation. That's where it all begins, as the first zodiac sign. We initiate through ourselves. Who creates? The self. But it's not going to feel like we're capable of creating anything, because there's no energy there. All the energy is kind of like wrapped up in victimhood. So just be wary of that, really. And of going along with like these larger, broader narratives that are just not healthy. I mean, there are so many, you know, Jupiterian kind of big ideas and big narratives and stories that are not true, that are based on lies, that are there deliberately to poison you, to poison your spirit and your spiritual body. So you'll have to counteract that by speaking. What I've been doing is affirmations, strong affirmations, affirming the exact opposite of the reality that's happening. Affirm it. So, and you can feel that change. And if you do it persistently, a change does occur. So that's another way of kind of adapting and using that innate power that you have, all of us have, to just kind of make it through this chaos, this absolute chaos that is the world in the 2020 decade. As we enter 2030, we're at the halfway point to 2030. That's crazy. And who knows what the world looks like then. We kind of get an idea with the astrology. You kind of know, like, okay, this is where we're headed, generally speaking, but the specifics of what's life gonna look like for people when, you know, there's probably no social security left. There's probably, you know, social programs are gone. It's like, what's going on here? How much does technology integrate within the physical body, the self? Are we going to merge with machines and technology? Most likely, that's where we're headed. And I think that's where that split comes from, is there's going to be people who say, yeah, I want to, you know, insert the iPhone into my brain. Go ahead. And people who go like, you know, I think I've had enough screen time. No, I don't want that in my skull. No, thank you. But yeah, this is all stuff to just bear in mind and keep in mind, because Neptune in Aries, that's massive, massive change in the collective idea of the individual and individual freedom and what we can individually do, how powerful we feel to like take action. So yeah, just keep this in mind. It's kind of food for thought.